Welcome to Scooter or Scoottober. Welcome to Scoottober, where all of the wonderful horrors of life are being shown in anime and cartoon and show form. Welcome. I'm not sure if this is a controversial opinion or not, but somehow this show is simultaneously a great show and a terrible show at the same time. I'm not sure how they wrapped the show up in 12 episodes, but Jesus fucking Christ, these characters got on my nerves. Before we do go into the show though, some backstory is needed, and for one, spoilers ahead. For those of you who do not want to be spoiled for the story of Another, please click away. Why did you click on this video in the first place if you haven't watched Another? Come on. Spoilers ahead, obviously. Another was apparently a novel at first, published in 2009. The author and writer for the later manga adaptation is Yukito Ayatsuji. I'm sorry if I butcher your name. That said, the manga came out in 2010 and was illustrated by Hiro Kiyohara and ran until January of 2012, which, coincidentally, is when the anime started. It was created by PA Works and ran until March of the same year. Basically, Another is about this person, Koichi, moving into the countryside of Yomiyama to attend school there. But little does he know, the school there, is cursed. The original curses stated that every month after the curse has started, somebody else dies. But that was quickly thrown out the window somehow in these 12 episodes. Before we go any further, if you want to hear me talk about more people dying in another fucked up film, me and the homie Skrilly D has talked about The Babysitter and The Babysitter Killer Queen, which is not a JoJo's reference apparently, and our podcast known as Scooch, which I have somehow not talked about yet, even though it's been around since June or July. Scooch is a very wonderful thing. We talk about a lot of films that I don't necessarily get to talk about here on ScooterTube. So if you would like to go look at us talk about The Babysitter and The Babysitter 2, where there are a lot of crazy ass deaths, just like there is here in Another, then by all means, go watch us talk about that. Why do I love this show exactly? Well, it's a mystery. There are deaths. Some that probably didn't need to be visualized. And it's a great fucking build of a story. The story builds itself around Koichi attending this new school where something strange is going on. No one is talking to that girl over there, and anytime I mention her name, Misaki, people cower in fear. No, not her name. Oh no. People just try to tell him to stay away from her, but he doesn't listen. And to be fair, I wouldn't either. They aren't explaining anything to him. How do you expect someone to listen when you don't explain anything to him? Did you suspect him to move into the school and just ignore her from the get-go without you saying anything? What? Why are you still refusing to tell him? Just tell him, explain it to him so he can come up with his own decision whether he will continue to talk to her or not. But they didn't, and they couldn't. People stopped everybody from explaining everything to him at the last minute. So Koichi ends up getting closer to this main Misaki chick, and she actually explains shit to him, answers his goddamn questions. Why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do this? You could have prevented this. But she's actually talking to him. She's actually explaining these things to him. We come to find out that this curse started 26 years ago, where someone died that was a part of the same exact classroom, but the class refused to acknowledge this person's death. So every year, because of this overwhelming refusal of death going on, I guess, there's always this extra person created, and fake memories appear in these people's minds that make them think this person's real, etc., etc. When there's an extra person there, that's when the deaths start to happen. I don't know why it doesn't stop when there's technically not an extra person there anymore. After the first death, there's a seat open. You can sit there. Come on, bro. Just sit there. And this one is stated a bit better. Like, when you find out who the extra person is, it makes sense why the deaths of these students didn't matter when it came to the extra person, but we'll get there in a bit. This build is amazing. Mwah. Especially in the early few episodes where it's building around this tension about Mei. Is she actually dead? Is she not? Is Koichi actually seeing ghosts? Is he fucking crazy? I really dig this beginning, honestly speaking. Something else that's really good here, something that has to be good in almost any good horror film, it's the sound design. The sounds, exactly. The deafening of some sounds and the loudness and reverbness of other sounds, making you like feel the horror, I guess, if that makes sense. Feel the anxiety that some of the other characters feel. I talk about this a little bit more in my Promised Neverland video, which you can check out somewhere up here. I don't know where that appears. Now, onto some things I hate, or, well, just one. The characters. I get it. This whole thing is built around your anxiety and fear of dying. I get it. You don't want to die. You just want to live on peacefully, etc., etc. That can be stated for everybody. That fear shouldn't drive you to insanity and ready to kill a person because they're not actually alive. Like, you have memories planted in your head that that person is alive and possibly your friend, and are you willing to kill a person because they're technically not alive, and it'll stop these students who you probably don't talk to as much as you do this person from like having this terrible life? Would you? Would you? I don't know if I'd be able to do it, honestly speaking. People literally snap from Aikazawa to Sakuragi and even Teshigawara to an extent. Like I said, I get it. You're scared, you don't want to die, and you want to save the rest of the students, but the house you guys are in is literally being burnt down. The managers are killing students, and all of you guys are killing students as well, who aren't actually the extra person. I'm sure if you guys did nothing and let the curse just rock until the end of the year, not as many students would have died, but that's just my opinion. I can't really think of anything else I dislike, just those last couple of episodes when the school trip started was complete nonsense. And the characters, they barely showed any remorse for the dead, the people that they were killing, that other people were killing, that the deaths happened to. They showed more remorse earlier than they do now, currently speaking. The last thing I want to mention is the actual extra person, Mikumi Sensei, which you would probably be able to find out if you even paid the slightest bit of attention to, honestly speaking. I don't know, she just stood out. Like, why is an assistant teacher in their classroom and not in any of the other classrooms? But we didn't really pay attention to any other classrooms. But, like, still, the assistant teacher thing really stood out. The weirdest part about, like, finding out who she is and, like, everything is Koichi stating that he would like to be the one to end her. Knowing it's his fucking aunt, like, I don't know, mate. It's just, and when he did it, like, right before he did it, then he stated, goodbye, mother. Like, first he said goodbye, Mikumi Sensei, goodbye, Unreiku, and then the Screaming Black, and he said goodbye, mother. Like, what? Is this your actual mother? Did the person that died so long ago, was that your actual aunt? Or did you just say this for emotional effect? I don't understand. Please tell me. Why did you say goodbye, mother? Was it because her and your mother were basically twins? Is that the reason why? Is that the reason why? Like, I don't know. I shouldn't be yelling. I'm so sorry. But yeah, that's basically it. Overall, the show's really good. Besides the last couple of episodes, I really did like the show. I like the slow build, and some of the deaths were very gruesome. I like being squeamish at times during death scenes. So this was a good, fun show in my opinion. Like I said, those last few episodes, like, everything is turned up to 11. They're like, hey, you like the slow pace? Well, let's crank this up to a faster pace. The fastest pace. People are dying left and right. You think you want to know who the extra person is? Nope. Everyone's gonna die. Everyone's going to die. I don't even know how many students survived. I think they said like 8 students were killed, I think. And the other time, like 15 years ago, I think they said like 7 students were killed during that time when it stopped. But they don't necessarily state how many students died during like a regular time, so I don't know if that's a little bit or a lot of people that died. I'm not sure. But it looked like a lot of people died, especially during that time they were in that house. Like, it was on fire. People were burning to death. Like, buildings, like, parts of the building were falling onto people. Like, I don't know. In my opinion, it just looked like more people died in this one than any of the other times. But I just, in my opinion, and I don't know. Maybe this would make sense more if I read the novel or manga. But who knows? Who actually knows? But yeah, that's basically it. Bye! Bye!